We're at Dutchess County Airport. We'll go up here and take a look at the plane. We have a single-engine Cessna Cardinal that we keep at Poughkeepsie, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive north of Manhattan on the Hudson. The spectacular thing was, of course, seeing all the tall buildings of Manhattan towering even above us in an airplane. As a pilot, you're going to respect them because they are so high that you reach up and grab you. I mean, they're up in your space. You just can't put them out of your mind. It's an anchoring point from many points of view, a beacon or a way of orienting yourself.
My name is Jennifer Spell. I grew up in Statesboro, Georgia. It's about 30 miles northwest of Savannah, Georgia. My brother's come to visit me several times, and there's a picture of us together, and the World Trade Center is behind us, and it was like a comfort, you know, being able to see those buildings.
My name is Rob Santana. I'm a resident of Jersey City. I work at the post office, and I am also, I consider myself a filmmaker. My wife and I decided to take videos of the World Trade Center just before the sunset because it casts an incredible orange glow from the Jersey shoreline. These two towers represented a certain stability in our city. Just the fact that we human beings are able to accomplish something like that.
I know the area well because I've spent plenty of time down there just growing up. I've even been to the top of the World Trade Center, not even the observation deck, but the very top roof where you're not supposed to be. You know, you're higher than some airplanes and helicopters. I remember seeing the MetLife blimp pass below my feet, you know?
My mom passed away a few days before 9/11, and her funeral was on Monday, 9/10. That night I couldn't fall asleep. Finally fell asleep around 4 in the morning.
September 11th is my birthday, so I took the day off from work.
I got to work, and I was working my normal day. It was a beautiful day.
I was eating my cereal.
And I was walking just down Fifth Avenue.
I was doing my exercise, did 15 minutes of back exercises.
My roommate called me that morning. She works on a trading floor for Bank of America, and they have 400 employees at the World Trade Center.
And then the phone rings, my wife.
And I hear on the answer machine, Peter, pick up the phone, pick up the phone, pick up the phone.
I knew something was wrong. I saw a woman running down the street crying.
I got out of bed, looked out the window, because I heard people screaming.
And she was like, oh my gosh, turn on the TV. She was like, all the phone lines just went crazy here. A plane just flew into the World Trade Center.
Oh, shit.
I called my father up, and he's awake downstairs. And I said, Dad, come up, you gotta see this.
Oh, I can't believe that. Very clear. I don't fucking believe it. He said it was a plane. If it was a plane, that means it's still stuck in there.
Yeah, but the guy says they don't see no debris down there. What about people in there, Dad?
Yeah, I know, there has to be people in there.
I live in Brooklyn, and that's my view. It's like people would come to visit, I'm like, oh, look at my view, isn't it nice? But having my camera was actually very comforting to me because I was all alone and all my friends are in the city, and it was like gave me something to do.
So I'm like, no, calm down. It's probably an accident. Probably a plane just hit it. He's like, no, that's no accident. No plane would hit it. No pilot would go into it. They would go into the water.
That's if the building falls down, the top of the building,
I don't know if that could fall. That's something you never want to see. How do you put a fire out that high?
That's a good question, man. We got to go up the World Trade Center.
We live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and we're on the 6th floor, so we can see the skyline very well. I was thinking some idiot crashed into the side of the building, and I wonder if the Federal Aviation Administration is going to start restricting that air route or something. So I was thinking kind of selfishly from a pilot's point of view.
Just about 5 minutes after I got outside and was shooting, the second plane circled around and it flew out over New Jersey, and then it came in and just... Holy shit! What the fuck the plane doing?
I look at the television set and I see the second plane hit on the TV screen. And I look to my right and I see the explosion.
Holy shit!
And I feel the heat from the explosion on my balcony.
I've never seen nothing like this in my life.
You should leave the building. It's safe in the building. You understand it.
No, but you gotta get the hell out. How's the building gonna fall?
Structure, hey.
What, are you kidding?
Nobody knew how to feel. I mean, my brother started crying. People were crying in the street. I didn't want to believe it. Like, I was angry.
Got hit in the middle, comes down, it can reach us.
And I'm looking and I zoom in and I see somebody jump.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
I didn't jump in! Because it's probably so fucking hot up there.
Oh god!
I stopped filming after that because I didn't want to have anybody else's death on my hands. And then when I went downstairs, you saw people holding hands, like coming down, holding hands, and falling to the death, like 2, 3 at a time, one after the other.
I live on Maiden Lane, at 5 blocks due east of the Trade Center. I mean, I wasn't thinking about making a film. I just happened to be there, and it was history in the making. I just assumed it was an accident. In New York City, who would have thought about an attack? People were just forlorn, sad, confused. I made my way up Maiden Lane to Broadway. When I got to Broadway, the police were already blocking off. You couldn't go any further.
Area. Federal Reserve employees, go back in the building. All Federal Reserve employees, go back to the building, please. Federal Reserve employees, back to the building, please.
Normally, if I'm working on a documentary, I know what I'm doing. I came with a reason, a purpose. I was just as confused and dumbfounded as everyone. I just happened to have a camera, and I knew how to use it.
There was debris and everything flying. I couldn't believe it, that All these papers flew to Brooklyn. You know, these company logos. I got some stuff from Cantor Fitzgerald. And I was just thinking, like, these people that were there amongst these papers, you know, they're probably running for their lives right now, or you know, they just like perished immediately.
From where I stood, you could see the skyline. I go to New York every day. I live in Jersey, but I'm a New Yorker. Jersey's part of New York as far as I'm concerned. You could see the PATH train going towards New York with the smoke billowing, and it was such an eerie thing to look at.
It's like Pearl Harbor, man. Unbelievable, huh? Somebody's gonna pay.
All you have to do is think about what if your son is up there or your daughter's up there. And that's it.
The sound haunts me. It's like a sound I never heard before. I hope I never hear again.
I heard the rush of wind that was coming out of the building as it was compressing down. As you remember the newscasts, people running from the smoke coming through the streets, well, that was me. I had never seen anything like this smoke wave. I was saying to myself, this is the end. New York is gone. That's it. This place is going to be a ghost town.
The cop was chasing me away, and I just took my bicycle by the handlebar, and as I was walking, I turned the camera facing backwards.
Everyone was gone by then. Everyone had ran before I did.
Everybody get down, don't face the window. Get down, please get down. Get down! We got water. Is there a pound or anything on the window?
Little by little, the lobby is getting all smoky.
What happened?
I started getting nervous. I can't go outside. Where do we go from here?
Everybody relax. Everybody relax.
Take this step right now to be in this building, just in case something else happens. You got concrete around you, you got concrete above you. This is not a target building. There's no federal in here, there's no big offices in here. It's not a target building, it's safe in here.
Okay. Got any more of those things? Or water machine, something, get some of these people water.
The city looks like it is in ruins.
Again, it does appear that the second tower of the World Trade Center is collapsed.
It's like two people inside me. One horrified, the other one fascinated. We wanted it to stay there, and we wanted it to be a memento, like the brother without a sister. And we kind of had an idea that the second one would crash too. It was a matter of time. And I guess everyone stuck around for that.
Finally, the police instructed everyone to leave the lobby and get out of the neighborhood on foot. That was eerie. People started emerging from a subway exit.
Which way is uptown?
And they were looking around like, what happened? They didn't know.
What happened?
All of a sudden, I heard that sound again I remember hearing the first time. I turned the camera off immediately and I ran.
What's going on?
We captured the second building falling. I remember exactly where we were. Right in the middle of the street on 7th Avenue, right in front of Great Papayas.
There it went, Brian. That was it. That was the second one. That was number 2.
I was supposed to be in the building. I was supposed to be there. I made deliveries to Morgan Stanley and Dean Witter, which was one of our biggest clients on a daily morning basis.
For God's sake.
After the second building, I couldn't believe it. It just, within moments, it was pitch black.
Jesus, I can't even believe what's happening. It's unreal. This is a fucking sick movie. You know? I gotta get out there again and just take a few more people. Are you outside now? Hey, folks! Anybody out here? Oh my God. Hey guys, get in the building. Oh my God. This lobby's open.
Thank you.
Right here, come towards me. Come towards my porch. Go right in there. There's a lobby. Right over here. Right over here. Right over here.
Thanks.
There's water over there. Which way is it? Which way is the room? What? Which way? This way. Don't go anywhere. Just stay here. Is there water in here? Sorry? Is there water? There's a pool of water. Next door. Take the water. Come on. Next building. Go in the lobby. Next building. Go in the lobby. Thank you. No. Stop. There is no subway authority, sir, the transit authority said that everything is shut down by order of NYPD. That is what I got.
Do they have an idea of when it's going to resume?
I don't know the radio. It was a commercial airliner that hit that building. And everybody that was on that plane is dead. We don't know how many people are dead in the World Trade Center.
Shall we go in?
What?
Did you go in?
I was there, yeah.
Are you going back?
My job. Good luck. Door open? There's no walk this way.
We want to go to the bridge, no?
What, the bridge? The bridge? You want to walk to the bridge? Go down as far as you can and then go through us.
What's over here?
All right? We'll lock up everything. Don't worry about it. We'll double up. Be careful. Be safe, all right? I got the key. You want me to lock that door? No, don't lock it. No. Fire department's moving all over the freaking place. All right? All right, be safe, guys.
Which way is north and south?
Which way you want to go?
East, south, seaport.
It's like follow these people. They're going to the Brooklyn Bridge and south of the seaport. It's right there.
I was very distraught, not exactly knowing what might happen next. I was walking right along Broadway and Wall, and I actually pointed my camera towards the sun, and ordinarily it would burn out the picture, but it didn't. That morning must have been the most beautiful blue sky I've ever seen in New York. And it's rare you get a deep blue sky like that morning. And all of a sudden, you're like in a London fog. As I made my way east, back towards my home, there was this whoosh, this wind. I guess the heat or something pushing, the air. It's funny because everyone seemed very calm.
It was a very bizarre moment. Of course, everybody's in shock. It's like zombies. You see these people walking just covered head to foot in dust.
He just got to get out. They get him out of here. He was in the collapse. He got buried.
There were a lot of people who were walking out who desperately needed to call somebody and let them know they were okay.
88, One World Trade.
72.
You on 88? Yeah. How'd you live through that? Tight.
Sheer luck.
We were on 20 is floor? 21, and all of them were looking out the window. We were getting our air because it was a clear floor. And then all of a sudden, boom! And then we just hightailed out of there. Went in one stairway, was full of smoke. Got down, still was just meandering out of there. Looked up, we saw one down, we saw two down, and we saw the vista take, gouged. And then all of a sudden, the tower came down on one, went into a building. Everybody was running, firemen, everybody. We just hightailed it, S's and elbows. And then all of a sudden, we look up and there's no towers no more.
Is there anybody who needs a phone?
Yeah, you got a phone that works. Hands are starting to shake now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a good boy tonight.
Let's talk.
There's Sherry. Is Mary there? Look, you never heard about what happened.
Okay, I'm okay. Would you do me a favor? Would you try to get her at home and tell her that I'm okay? A few minutes ago, there was 1 and 2 World Trade Center, and there's nothing.
Number 1 just came down. The whole building's down.
There's people.
Number 1, the complete building fell down.
People in there.
Three passes.
Really?
There was 2 here and 1 in Chicago.
No, in all, there was 7.
7 planes?
Yeah, there was 1 in San Francisco, there was 2 here, there was like 3 in Washington. There was another one somewhere else when I hear. And they shot down 1 of them over Washington. 1 of them hit the Pentagon, and 2 hit here.
Who'd you hit on the radio?
1010 Wins News now has loaded. Mayor Giuliani has something to say, so let's go to him live now.
We're going to be moving a large number of ambulances and emergency personnel in and out of there all day. I've spoke to the governor. He is putting the National Guard on alert.
Considering the numbers of patients that are coming to us and the speed at which they are coming to us, we know we're going to need blood. There are blood centers being set up around the city, and we encourage all New Yorkers to please go donate blood.
Has everyone here eaten in the past 4 to 5 hours?
Peanuts, raisins, peanuts.
Anyone need water? I don't know, we were just down here. We yelled at down from the building.
Is there anything else that we can do?
Donate. Definitely stick around and donate.
Hey, anybody that came with the union have O negative blood? Oh, come here. Anybody with O negative blood from the union, they need you right now. It's a doctor asked me to ask you. Yeah, probably right there. You need O negative blood right now. Behind the barriers, everybody behind the barriers.
I've never encountered a New York like I encountered that day.
Do not go to Bellevue. Beth Israel on 1st Avenue between 16th and 17th. Beth Israel between 16th and 17th on 1st Avenue is accepting donations.
It just showed the tremendous spirit that everybody had, the overwhelming compassion for one another.
You can't wrap your head around what you're looking at, so you just film it.
Doesn't matter. It's a frozen zone. There you go. It's a frozen zone.
Keep walking, guys. Nothing is running. Nothing. No radios, no nothing. No subways. There's no subways. But you could walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. If you want to go to Brooklyn, swim. Look at the bridge. Yeah. Stay out of Manhattan.
It's going to be a dark night. People were worried and all that, but it's not like they were panicked and running. It was like they're coming out of a stadium or something.
Eventually, I made it to a point where I was 6 or 7 blocks away from the World Trade Center, in front of the judicial area downtown, and there was a park being turned into a triage area. I heard this banging, this hollow banging, and when I got there, I couldn't believe it. There was a truck, and they were unloading, a couple men were unloading planks, and the park was just full of young men, old men, black, white, everybody. I asked a young man what he was doing, and he came over and said that he was making these stretchers to be brought into the Ground Zero area.
It was like a dream state. You almost had to put yourself in check. Was this a bad dream? Did this really happen? You know, you almost want to drop what you're doing and run out your front door and look up and see if it's still there. I used to stand here as a child and you just see the World Trade Center every day.
It's like a war zone. All the steel from the building, all the facade from the building, there's papers everywhere. You know, it's devastating, very devastating.
I headed down there at about 11:30 that night with a camera in my hand. Literally just walked past cops, past all this military security, and within about 10 minutes found myself right in the middle of Ground Zero.
Something that right there, that was the World Trade Center, straight up. This is 5 and 7, I don't know where it is.
My ankles were in like what seems like a foot of ash. It was really quiet, even though it seemed like hundreds of people down there, but nobody was talking.
Thousands of people buried down there. A couple hundred firemen, a couple hundred cops.
I was just so freaked out because I had no idea how bad it was.
Wednesday was another beautiful day of blue sky and warm weather. And the first thing I did was shoot the scene. It's funny because I never liked the World Trade Center. I always thought, from a political point of view, that these two buildings represented, what I thought was evil about the economic system in terms of its relationship to poor people around the world. But then I biked over the bridge and found myself in Chinatown and bicycled past this firehouse, and there was this fire truck that was pulled out of the wreckage. And that was the first time where I was really emotionally confronted with what this is. Not in a political sense, but in a very personal sense. Because here's the evidence, here's the actual rubble, here's the ash of people. I biked, this must be like 6 blocks to the north, to another street called Houston. I came across this group of religious students, and who knows who else, who formed this circle of prayer.
Let us use this situation to remind us of the power that we have and the responsibility that we have to be transformers in the world. If you take the hand of someone near you and lift it up as a sign of solidarity and a sign of commitment,
On September 12th, I went to the river where the most incredible thing out of this tragedy happened was Point Thank You, which is an intersection right on the Hudson River and Christopher Street. And it was there that a whole bunch of people assembled to cheer on the rescue workers and the firemen and the cops and everyone else who were traveling back and forth between Ground Zero and Chelsea Piers, which was their base of operations. I'd say the feeling was very patriotic that evening, but more so of New Yorkers coming together. The Point Thank You movement, I know, came out of the feeling that you wanted to do something. All these people, like me, who felt that they needed to contribute in the rescue effort, and that was the only way the majority of us could. It was very inspiring. You don't see stuff like that, especially in New York. You don't see that kind of togetherness and community.
My name is King Nulapo, and I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I was born in Soweto, which is one of the ghettos of Johannesburg. On September 12th, it was pretty quiet. Quieter than I've ever seen New York in my short experience here. And I was scared a little bit. I was looking for comfort, something that I could use to think that it's okay to be in New York after all. I came across this night vigil at the Union Square. I think that people were tired from watching the news all day, and they thought, well, I gotta go and find somebody that can give me some hope. Everybody that was in the city had one thing in common: fear, hope, and love and comfort for one another. So I felt part of New York at the time. I felt like I was part of it.
A lot of Arabs around the world feel like they are disrespected also. And we treat them like second-class citizens. We have stereotypes of them, and we are, even now, American brothers and sisters are going into places where Muslims live and firing off weapons and pulling people, hardworking people out of taxi cabs. We don't have the right to do that. We also have to do some reflection.
When you fight against somebody that has nothing to lose, you can leave.
Well, when you destroy for 2 generations, you prevent Palestinians from having an education, and you prevent them from having a normal life, and then they turn around and they start acting crazy. When they start acting crazy, then don't tell me that you've tried peace. The only reason that any peace has been tried is by pressure from the United States and pressure from Europe.
People were just perplexed, talking and debating about the issue and letting their frustration come out and looking in each other's eyes for some kind of support. And they came out to a park to do that. I got that feeling that this is not the end of the world after all. If New Yorkers are taking it with such strength, I mean, I only could draw comfort from that. What better way to express how people feel in this time, that they are giving each other light in this time of darkness.
I was assuming, along with everybody else, that it was going to be a continuous attack. There was going to be, you know, truck bombs, car bombs, people strapping dynamite to themselves, running into buildings and marketplaces. I live 5 blocks away from the Empire State Building, and Wednesday evening they had a bomb scare. And to the dismay of my family and everybody else, I grabbed my camera and I ran out there.
We were working late. My fiancée called me on the phone and said, "There's a bomb scare at the Empire State Building. That's where your office is, isn't it?" And suddenly there's a loudspeaker telling everybody to clear out in front of the Empire State Building.
It was scary. You know, here I am looking at the pinnacle of New York, you know, one of our biggest, baddest buildings. Has been around forever, and is it going to blow up?
And that was the first time that I got so angry. Because for me, I was like, I just trying to do this, you know? You know, we just wanted to put together the stories and keep doing stuff. Maybe 2 months ago, we would have just treated it like the crank hoax that it was and kept on going. But after you've seen the Twin Towers collapse, nothing's impossible.
The second day I was there, I just walked through my bicycle, my camera. The combination of no lights and no humans makes any city spooky, but especially New York. I do have a friend that has an apartment a block away from the Twin Towers. Then I ended up going upstairs and filming. As I went up climbing on top of the roof, I was shooting from above, maybe 15th floor or something like that. You had the smoke rising, and then you see the remaining skeletons of the Twin Towers. Reminded me very much like the Colosseum, you know, it was like the ancient Colosseum, you know, just the skeleton of it, and just such a statement. You could actually see flashlights going through, so firemen were able to go in there, and they were looking in the collapsed part of the building. I think as close as New York has ever been to a nuclear disaster.
On Thursday, it was all still sinking in. I couldn't think of more than what was happening the next moment. I heard some commotion out my windows. And all of a sudden, a big crowd of people started running past my building.
The building's full. The building is unstable. Get out of here. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Everybody. There's a reason. Go.
It was awful.
Let's go. Keep moving.
It brought back horrible memories from just a couple of days before. It's like, oh my God, having this happen again, is this going to stop?
Back it up, please!
After a couple of hours of standing around, and they established the building was safe.
I got nothing. I walked to his apartment. Because I was staying at Best Western and power went out.
I was chatting on the corner with some people, you know, just people you don't know, all of a sudden you got into conversations with. It was very unusual. It's not typical New York.
Let's try this.
A little sparrow got right in the middle of our conversation on the ground.
I don't know if we can fly or not.
First I thought it's injured. Then I looked closer. It didn't seem injured. It just looked completely dazed and confused.
All right.
It's as if even the birds joined our little group of disoriented New Yorkers.
I got it in me that I was going, and nothing was going to stop me. This is family. I'm a Mills, and majority of my uncles are Millses, my father's brothers, firemen, and they come from a fire chief and an old World War II Navy veteran. The look on so many firemen's faces is like an orphan that lost a family, just dumbfounded. Every fireman that was off duty in the tri-state area came in just to do what they could do for their brothers, you know. On the outskirts, it was eerie quiet. It was not New York City every day, you know. It was almost like a ghost town.
By Thursday, I still didn't believe that there was loss of life until I went to the armory. Families were reporting there to put their loved ones on a missing list. No one had really connected victims with the images of the towers falling, because you didn't connect faces yet. You didn't connect names.
When I got there were families lined up. They were hoping that their family members who they hadn't heard from yet might see them on TV, or somebody might see in the poster that they're holding and say, I saw that person on the street, or I saw that person in a hospital, and contact them.
This is my partner, Wesley Mercer, who works for Morgan Stanley. He was in building 2 on the 44th floor. He's the vice president of security. Wesley is a 25-year veteran of the Army. He's a real hard worker, and he's dedicated. And because he was the security officer, security vice president for Morgan Stanley, I know that he was one of the last people to try to get out of the building, because he got most of his employees out. They have called me and have been calling to see if he made it home all day Tuesday.
When I shot this footage, there were 3 people in my life who were still missing. So at the time I was going through this as well, and having the same questions that these people were having.
Having her for one was an employee, but no.
And that's the moment when you sort of step back from it all, and I realized that there was an empty space at the end of Manhattan, and I realized that that empty space took a lot of lives.
It was a shared story. My friend Howard was killed. So it's an odd thing to report on a story that you're also a part of. And I think we're all a part of it, so. I was trying to shoot people coming in and out of the armory, and the National Guardsmen who were there asked me to move on and not get in the way. This National Guardsman said, listen, I'm sorry to do that to you, but we're trying to keep the press away. But by the way, Bill Clinton's up the street. There's a feeling in the crowd that people were glad that Bill Clinton was there. This is still 2 days later, just 2 days. But there's a need to see someone with that stature out on the street.
Mr. Clinton, should we invade Afghanistan?
We should wait till the president tells us what the investigation says, and then what should be done. He'll do the right thing. We should follow.
It was a good thing for him to do, to let families know that people knew what was going on and the country knew what these people were going through.
uptown, where I live near Lincoln Center, you couldn't tell that many differences. In general, it seemed like everyone was continuing to live their lives. People walking all over the street and joggers running in Central Park. And I was there with my best friend, and we were saying, this is our entire lives. You know, everyone I've ever known and everyone who I've ever met lives in Manhattan. And so I kind of went out and just brought my camera, and I really wanted to capture the things actually that weren't necessarily so normal. Everywhere there were small signs that things had changed and that people had changed. The flags were immediately and most vividly the symbol that people used to show their support. But something I realized by videotaping the city was what the flag really meant to everybody. It was the one way where every single person who so desperately wanted to show the emotion they were feeling, especially when there wasn't an opportunity to volunteer or donate, and that horrible frustration, the one thing you could do was put up a flag, wear a flag.
The man with a hat.
There was no electricity. My refrigerator had thawed out by then, and nothing was open in the neighborhood, no stores.
The criminal investigation into the suicide attacks on New York and Washington is gathering pace.
I had a transistor radio. That was it. Later that evening on Thursday, I was looking out the window of my neighbor's apartment, one of the checkpoints that had just been recently set up there. When I first saw the National Guard arrive in large numbers, I was like, wow, this is just living in a war zone.
Friday rained, and the rain, everyone will tell you, was so symbolic, because I mean, I think by Friday everyone just sort of felt beat.
There's a mosque that I've seen before on 3rd Avenue in the 90s, and out in front of the mosque there was a group of young people, young Muslim Americans, raising money.
Hi.
Hi.
Feel better? Here, we have been bringing volunteers together to represent different mosques all around the New York tri-state area. And we're raising money for the families and their victims. All victims, yeah, we're not selective. It's not just Muslims, it's everybody.
The American has a lot of reason to feel the way we feel, because the man that dresses like him, that comes from your country, who is the man who made the statements against America, who said that this would happen, that after the first incident, he said he would make sure that more devastation would happen to that building, and he came through with what he said he was going to do.
We should not be held responsible for outside terrorist acts. We're law-abiding.
I'm saying, in a general statute, you've given America a lot of reason to feel the way America feels.
It's actually not me. And I think it's very important for us to not point fingers at a religion. There are 1.6 billion Muslims on the face of the earth.
And then you got to think about when you look on TV now, they're dancing over there and they're giving out cakes and everyone's happy that this happened to the American people. So you got to look at both sides.
Well, you should spend some time with some of the people here too.
Yeah, I have. That's why I'm here.
This is a free country and everybody has a right, and you cannot label anybody. Just like I would not be able to label
the man, that's how he betrayed himself. The man that I heard the threat from, that's exactly how he looked.
We're struggling with this every single day. You know, pointing at the guy with the clothes and then saying your people, your leader, as if, you know, that one person represents the leader of the entire Muslim world.
Food, clothing, medical supplies.
On the southern corner of Union Square, there was this tremendous beehive of activity of people yelling out for goods to be donated.
So anyone looking to make a donation, step right here, please. Hot food and cold food, separate. Toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, soap, medical supplies. Wonderful. Batteries. Yep, we're all set. Thank you so much.
The thing that hit me the most, as a long-standing New Yorker, you don't see this behavior a lot. what people were willing to do and willing to bring, and everybody just saying, how can I help?
Flashlights and batteries.
Who's taking the town?
We're pulling them random cars.
FedEx truck just pulled up, went off.
Pick it up. You got a van? Yeah. Okay, great. We have a truck. Yee! We have a truck here. 34th and 12th. 34th and 12th, the Javits Center. It's the parking lot here. Leather or heavy cotton.
One girl got into her car to drive a bunch of supplies over, so I hopped in the car with her.
Can I hitch a ride with you over there?
Yeah.
Is there room?
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks.
She's an NYU student and just wanted to help like everybody else. She'd gotten her parents' car and drove it back into Manhattan so that she could ferry stuff back and forth.
I got supplies for Javits.
Thank you. I don't have much material to offer other than my time in my car.
We got close to the Javits Center, and there's probably about 3 blocks worth of cars just waiting, lined up to deliver stuff. So I got out of the car, said thank you to her, and walked the rest of the way, and it was just mountains and mountains of stuff.
What alcohol? Just take it all out. You never grab it.
Do you need any more? This is from a catering company. They just wheeled it down here. It's got goat cheese salad and fruit salad and like gourmet food for the firefighters. Amazing. Those are cold pastas. Yeah, I'm just thinking because we're bringing food over to the volunteers on the other side. Right. So if you want to take some fruit salads, yeah, what's this here? That's rice and beans. Stuff over. It's so odd because it's like it was the Salvation Army. Now it's just kind of like everybody. People are thinking of these incredible things. People come in. Someone came with a bunch of McDonald's, and people came over and was like, "Are those McDonald's fries?" Like these firefighters that look like they've been through hell. Like McDonald's. There was one firefighter with a popsicle in one hand and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the other hand. The guy must have been like 40. He was just like, thanks.
Showed its true colors that week in a way that hopefully it will never have to again, but has made this city much stronger.
On the ground, the American flag propagates violence. The second that I started to shoot it, a man yells out, "Have that dog defecate on that shit."
Have your dog piss on that, okay? Have your dog piss on that. Piss on that piece of shit. Defecate on that garbage. Let Osama bin Laden and those people that love us know that our flag is obscene. We're not perfect, but Lord have mercy, God's written by an imperfect mind.
Let's talk. We can get rid of this. Yeah, just talk. It's not that, it's not that bad. Just talk.
There goes the First Amendment of the United States.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're in the United States, you don't talk like this. Yeah. You don't like the United States, you go home. So quit breathing, and that's a tragedy that happened like that. This is unacceptable. And I don't care how you fight it.
That was the part where I witnessed an hour-long confrontation in the middle of Union Square between the peoples of New York.
We're expressing ourselves. It's not about judging other people's opinions. It's about exchanging opinions, and we respond. You write it, and we respond. You can write whatever you want.
I'm a critique. I'm your Edgar Allan Schmo that put this filth down there.
This symbol of country. This symbol doesn't count anything. We certainly does. We are flesh and blood. We have values.
What the hell?
I didn't write this.
I mean, every person was out there with an opinion.
We are superior
surrender to the values that have been propagated throughout the rest of the world.
Looking at those World Trade Centers, and now they're gone. Things that I grew up with are not here anymore. If they want to keep the war in their country, let them.
And somehow I became engulfed by all these people that were fighting each other. And they were at every corner of me. And it wasn't just one argument that happened in Union Square. It was argument after argument after argument, breaking out between people who wouldn't even talk to each other on the street.
Those people who are hide and harbor these individuals will pay. Now, let me tell you, let me understand what's going to happen. Let me take definitely the fact that.
That's only one point. War, like Bush saying. I think it's been concentrating people's mind on war. It's not the war. It's not the only one option. It's like to be more options.
The fight really was, let's not go to war, or let's bomb the hell out of them.
I want the threat to be neutralized. And if that means erasing them off the face of the globe so my family can be safe, that's what I want done.
I don't like to wait until the Gulf War, until the bombs are going, and then it's too late. And then it's too late to stand with candles and say, we don't like to have a war. It's
war now will always be with us. There are military targets and there are not military targets. That is not a military target.
We're defending an ideal that is better than bombing against bombing against bombing against bombing.
Don't stand by and do nothing.
Well, we can't stand by and wait to go to Candlelight either.
Why this happened is because people wanted to let our intelligence, our military, and our
we're not using our intelligence.
And it was not intelligence. That's why it happened.
We have propagated freedom and human rights and the liberation more than anyone else of minorities and anyone else, and we are imperfect, but we are the most perfect nation that's ever been created, as flawed as we are, and I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and let people bomb us.
Yeah, then get out. That's not live.
This European pantheism is got to go. It's got to go.
Right what the Bible says. If you get a slam on one cheek, give your other cheek.
And God gave us this country. I will stand to my death and defend it.
God didn't give you anything, okay? He didn't say the United States is yours. Because you know what? There were people here before. God has nothing to do with it. We live here no matter what.
People are disillusioned if they think we're going to just live in peace and harmony. And that's exactly how the Antichrist is going to rise.
I'm not going to fault anyone for what they said that day or for how long they fought for, because it was really just the frustration of being attacked, feeling unsafe, being unsure, your city being compromised, your life being compromised. Because it was emotion. It was just raw, gutted emotion.
And I want you all to fucking stop and shut the fuck up right now. I'm a local 580 iron worker. I was down there in the first 2 days. I want to shut silence. I will. I was pulling body parts.
So was I on the first night.
Then what are we arguing about?
We're not arguing. We're trying to. You told everyone to shut up. Chill.
I don't know. I am in fucking pain. Because I have never seen heads, body parts, or anything like that.
You can't act out in pain.
Then what is one side arguing the other? Let it be to our leaders.
Changing ideas. I mean, we can't change ideas. You can't fight yourself.
I'm not trying to fight. I don't know how to process this.
None of us do. We all have so much rage inside us.
Have to.
And what do we do with it? What do we do?
We want to prevent this in the future.
The rage. We have to work through the rage.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt anybody.
I know. But what do we do with it? There's so much emotion. It needs to be channeled somewhere. Or we're all going to kill each other. I mean, it's true.
Why don't we stop arguing and start reflecting? That's what this war is.
No, we're arguing and then we're hugging. See? Argue, hug.
The evening of the 14th, President Bush declared that everyone should light a candle in memory. That was something that my family was very eager to do. And there was a candlelight vigil at Lincoln Center. people just started gathering around the fountain, and it was completely informal. There was no plan or no leader of the service. That was such a beautiful symbol as it got dark of the unity of the city.
All of New York City on that Saturday, everyone was caring and helping and whatever they could do. A friend of mine works with Spirit of New York. Their deal is that they go around this Manhattan and, to dinner cruise. They were essentially shut down. They couldn't do anything. So they said, why not start feeding the rescue workers? Give them a place to sleep and rest. I said to him, I want to help. I have to scrub floors or move food around, and I would do it. I saw some rescue workers just nodding off while eating. It was amazing. I mean, their bodies just said, we have to rest. Evander Holyfield came down on that Saturday. Everyone is very proud of their hard hat. They would ask him to sign their hard hat. He didn't want to leave because, what you were doing was nothing compared to what the workers were out there doing. And it was cathartic for me, because at least I knew that I helped.
On the 15th, there was no easy place to walk once you got in there. You had to climb over window frames to get outside. With that destruction, the likelihood of pulling somebody out there alive is going to be slim. You never said that. You never said it to your friends, to your partners, to a civilian. You never said it, but you knew in the back of your mind. There were makeshift MASH unit they had set up, which was for the dogs and the handlers and how they took care of all the animals. Their job was, a dog comes in with a broken foot or a broken paw or a cut paw, they stitch it up, and they did a lot of work that day. There was a golden rule, and we were told this before we entered the building. They said that if you find a New York firefighter or a New York police officer, you don't touch the body, you don't move it. You stay with the body, you call one of the command staff, they come over, and New York City firefighters remove their own. That's the golden rule. A lot of anger in the firefighters. The anger was, why did this happen? We're normal people. We did our normal job. We came to work at 7 a.m. like we normally do. Why are we the ones losing 343 firefighters? Why are we the ones that, our friends and family aren't going to come home?
New York City has never been the particularly patriotic or flag-waving city. But after September 11th, that all changed. I mean, people were selling flags on every corner. in every shape, every form you could think of.
But this is a world under siege right now. Business under siege. You know, huh? I'm selling T-shirts. And they're all $5. $5 each, no tax. Get them before anybody else asks. I ain't lying. That's right. We got flags, we got everything. We got bandanas. I even got one on my head right now. Cause you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm American. I'm a veteran too. That's right. $1, no tax. That's right. I pay the tax. So you don't have to ask. That's right. Because you ain't never going to have the World Trade Center no more. Am I right there? That's right. I ain't lying. What's going to take about in the next 10 years, there might be something else there, but it'll never be the same building. You know, that's a memory, and that's a memory lost that always be in people's heart.
I guess it was all to get in the spirit of, you know, USA, go America, let's all find hope in stars and stripes, and this is what binds us. While there was a lot of beauty in what I saw, it wasn't what I needed. I just needed to be able to be with the people I love and respect everyone around me a little bit more.
Sunday morning was where it really hit home that the impact on the children and the families was life-changing, and that was heartbreaking. How you talk to kids about this, I think, is a very complicated question.
That's just like 3 of like the thousands I've seen in New York so far. I mean, you know.
My son Max said to me, "Can I make a video?"
You hold the camera like this, a little steadier.
So what the video did for us was allowed us to have a thing to talk about. Hey, what did you think of that shot of the flag? Oh, I thought that was really beautiful. Well, what did you like about it? Well, it made me feel that I'm part of something called a miracle. It became a kind of a family project that also became a thing that wasn't scary to talk about. And I think for him, it was also the first time that, you know, that he admitted that he was scared.
There's a lot of people, like it was the biggest building in Manhattan, so it probably held the most people, and it just makes me think, like, I don't know, just scary, how many people.
Because I have children, for 1/2 of 1 second on about the 3rd day, I said, wow, you know, the things that make this a great place to live for adults probably aren't as important to 11-year-olds. They might do just fine being in the suburbs, you know, and then I just made the decision that that's just not true. The fact that there are all these people living together in this small space trying to figure out how their cultures, you know, can live together is exactly why I want my kids to grow up here.
I think children have most uninfluenced opinions. I think they're so clear and they really wear everything right there on their faces. And at some point I was interested in seeing this through eyes of children. And there was a young boy and his dad sitting right next to me on a bench. So I asked them if they wanted to comment on what's going on, or would they care to say anything.
I think it's really horrible, you know, that thousands of people just ended, you know, suddenly ended, and that fuels anger and hatred, and I just I'm not to cry now, but I'm just, you know, very sad and angry that this happened, and so many people had to die, you know.
They didn't have to die, right?
They didn't have to die. I mean, there's no need for this.
get it. In some ways, kids understand the complexity of the story a lot more than adults do.
And you can just like, say goodbye to the world because one nuke gets fired, then everybody else breaks the nuclear treaties, and then, it's like a quote from Albert Einstein, who, was talking about, what I used to say to my old friends about how humans will destroy. He said the First World War was fought in the trenches, the Second World War was fought in the air. I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War will be fought using stones, clubs, and bows and arrows. Just saying how, we'll probably, it's very scary to think nukes in the wrong hands like Osama bin Laden or Saddam Hussein, it's just very scary because, their ambition is, blow up the entire world. And then they go to heaven and everybody else goes to hell, so that's what they believe in.
He wasn't like a child. He was like a grown-up in a child's body. And that kind of felt strange. Even a little bit disturbing.
I also think Osama bin Laden, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, but Saddam Hussein has been a suspect in supplying him with the resources and things. So I think, those two should be, quote, brought to justice, unquote, as many of our leaders. But, in reality, I think we should kill them. I think we should go and we should kill them, let them die.
I have to admit, I am mad at whoever would do this, but there's nobody, we don't know who, so we shouldn't blame anybody. And I mean, if we were to have peace, it would show that we were really civilized.
On Monday, they were opening up Wall Street. I was shocked, and when I heard they were going to open it up, because it was such a mess everywhere still. It was an act of trying to get back to normalcy. Although it was anything but normal.
I work here in this district, and I believe we should go back to work, even though today nobody's really doing much business. Everybody's just really trying to get back to the way things were. Right now the business is dead, there's no phone, so it's kind of hard.
On Monday, I took my video camera and I went to the Wall Street area. The first thing that struck me was the smell. The smell was everywhere. You could probably scoop it with a spoon. It was so thick. Military people clearly had their instructions. They weren't going to let anybody through, and they didn't. And nobody even tried to get through.
Come on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This block is packed. We need you to move on. Show it the camera. I asked you to move on.
Everything was barricaded. People just grouping and quiet. People were quiet. There was like no noise, really. People weren't talking.
Keep it moving. Bro, I know you want to take pictures, man. You know what I'm saying?
No man knows what a day may bring forth. We may not take it tomorrow. You may die in a time before the day's over with. I want to beg you. I want to plead with you. I want to ask you to accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior. I want to ask you to bow down and ask Him to save you.
That military presence on the Wall Street area was very threatening. I didn't feel reassured at all. In your hometown, having military, guarding streets and preventing you from walking freely to where you're going, very scary.
It's difficult. It's very traumatic. We lost some people that were up having breakfast, windows on the world, the time of it happened. We lost some clerks. There are many people who have been jittery, not sleeping well. I'm one of them. Coming back and seeing that it wasn't a dream, it was real. It's been really difficult for everybody. People see the market was down percentage-wise. The key is we didn't collapse. We never stopped trading. Percentage-wise, we've had far worse days than this. We got through it. I mean, we have to go on. This is part of life.
By Monday afternoon, they started getting more and more of the residents back to their apartments who lived very close to the World Trade Center. It was a strange sight to see this mass exodus of people with their luggage, suitcases, marching north out of the neighborhood. Franca, he was such a sweetheart.
And all these have paid cash.
My friend was the last to be allowed back into retrieve some of her personal belongings. And when the door opened to the apartment, she burst into tears.
Would have been worse. A lot of people are dead right now.
I know that. It's still really hard. It's not easy.
Your home,
It's fucking ruined. Look at all my clothes.
A lot of the stuff is not damaged. It's just dusty. That's all. It's just the windows are broken.
Oh, are the windows broken?
One window broke.
But I've been trying to get in here for days. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a shock. It's just such a shock for me. I can't believe those motherfuckers, Just hope they all fucking rot in hell. I really do.
And when I came back to my neighborhood a week later, I felt safe because it was still my neighborhood. And I started filming what it looked like a week later. And now it's not Tribeca anymore. It's not Lower Manhattan. It's Ground Zero, so it's always going to be referred to as Ground Zero. But not for me, not for the people who grew up there. It's still going to be Tribeca, and there's still going to be our basketball courts that we play in and the football courts. It's just a way of adjusting that we have to get used to now. And I filmed the Statue of Liberty because that's still standing. for that to still be up, for me to wake up and at least see that when I don't have the trade centers. It just makes me, it eases the pain a little bit.
This is our apartment at 910 Park Place, Brooklyn, New York. It's the 11th of March around 10:20. And I'm going to show the lights where the World Trade Centers were, the temporary memorial.
It seemed like everyone you met on the street, you would look at and share an emotion, which is very rare. That hadn't really happened before in New York.
Everyone just locked together and said, hey, you're not gonna, mess with New York. If something like that ever did happen again, I know the response would be just as quick, and the people would be just as ready to help out.
What was really tested was the fabric of the city of New York. And the truth of the matter is that the fabric was so strongly woven. There was all that bubbling under anger, and that really there were very few incidents, which I think is a sign of the city's coming together as opposed to falling apart.
I think that we're going to keep going, but we're all just going to realize that we lost something, and we're all going to realize that this hurts.
I don't think I could live anyplace else. I mean, even after all this happening, I don't think I want to live anywhere else.